it's Karen, and I'm back to share some embellishments and some ephemera that I have been making slowly over the past month. I've had a busy 13-month-old sharing space with me in my craft room, and so I can get little projects done in between, you know, getting things away from him that he's not supposed to have and playing with him and that kind of thing.
This is a little sneak peek of my grandson and some of the little shenanigans he gets into while I'm crafting.
And the sacrifice has been nothing that I wouldn't trade for anything. It's just been a real joy. But I've had some fun making these really pretty embellishments. I wanted to share them with you. And I have used a lot of laces and trims, little bits of things from my stash, and a lot of it of course is from AngeldreamCraftsKim on Etsy, because I am a designer for her and she is very generous when she sends us our design team packages, and there's always leftovers. I mean, you just never use everything up in one project, which is wonderful because look at all the different things that I've been able to make. Some of them are just embellishments that would go on a page. These 3 hearts, 4, are all done on, they are a digital download, and I've put them onto cardstock, and then I've embellished them so they could be used. I would use them as a tuck spot in a journal, just gluing down on one side and then leaving room to tuck something in. These 2 are fabric, and I just use pieces of felt from the dollar store. This was a trim she had in her shop, I think I had last year, and I just stitched the little flowers on with some stitches, hand stitches, and some French knots. This is one of her flowers from one of her laces, and I added that on there, and then a little bit of gathered trim from this one and onto the center of that, and blanket stitch around the edge. So this could be used in, I use these in both my fabric books and in journals, paper journals as well. And there's another one, this pretty little trim here in the lilac and white is from her shop. Kind of like a gimp trim, very, very pretty. And this flower here is from her shop, and this pretty bling, flat back bling, is from her shop as well.
Here's just a close-up of all the pretty little hearts that I made.
So she has lots of things that you can purchase, and then you're able to make these fun embellishments. These are a couple of paper clips. I put magnets on the back as well so that they can be mounted onto the refrigerator or a magnetic surface, and then they also have the ability to clip something onto them, so they're multi-purpose.
Here are the clothespins and a close-up, and just a few of the other embellishments that I created as well.
These cuties, I just had fun with these. This is a digital download that I had, and I just mounted it on the digital download onto some paper and collaged it actually on the back. I'm not sure how I'm going to use these, but I just had fun making them. I used a metal piece. Kim does have the metal pieces in her shop. I can't remember if I got this one from her or not, but these little metal pieces, I just love using them. Again, I just glue the bottoms of them down, and then they make a tuck spot. So I just tucked in this little tag and the little pink rose. And this was trim she had in her shop, and I just cut little bits of it off, and then there's one of those buttons again. This one I made more of a skirt, and this was a trim that was in her shop, and I just cut a piece of the trim and made the little, like a little skirt on there. This little wooden heart was from my stash. I made a little tag that fits in there, little bling waistband on that one, a little flower at the neckline, little clay flowers. She does have clay flowers in her shop as well. I'm not sure if that's one from her shop or whether that was from my stash. And then this one was a ruffle trim I had left over from her shop. I love this ruffle trim. It was so pretty. It's got this really light pink satiny edge on it. And I just cut it apart. It was actually a double lace. Cut it apart, did the 2 ruffles on the bottom there. This is a trim from her shop as well with the little leaves. I use that as a bit of a dangle. This is one of her beautiful cabochons that she has in the shop. I just love them. This one has the roses in it. And then this was also from one of her trims, and this was a little bit of from her pink trim, so I added that at the neckline. And again, I just think it would look really pretty. It would be a surprise to find that on a page, whether it be in a fabric book or your journal, and a little something tucked in behind it. I just think it's so cute. So these little silver hearts were lying on my desk from Christmas, so I put embellishments from her shop on them. When you're going through a journal, I think it's fun to find these little treasures in your journal. And just a close-up of these cuties that I think would be so fun in a journal. She has such a variety of things in her shop. She has the bulb pins and safety pins, and she has book pages to make things from here. This is a German book page that was in her shop, and I just added some just scrap card stock, and actually this is a book page inside, and this is trim from her shop, the white, and the flower in the back is from her shop. And then this is a napkin that I stitched on, and this is something that I've been doing for a year now, and I just love doing it. And I'm going to do a video where I show, because I've just finished doing some napkins stitched onto fabric. I've done napkins stitched onto paper, and I've also done stitched onto some rice paper. They turn out so pretty. On this side, the flip side is, again, these are all trims from Kim's shop, just all cut apart and used. There's 2 different trims there, and then I did another little one of my embroidered butterflies, and that, again, that's embroidered onto a napkin. And this little one here, I'll just got a few pages put together here so I can show you how that would work. And this is that lovely German book paper that Kim has in her shop. It's lovely paper. And this little thing, of course, becomes difficult for me to manage just because I'm on camera. But it just slides over your page in your journal. And then as you're flipping through, you would, find this beautiful little cluster, and then you could attach it just at the top and the bottom, and a little bit of glue just inside here, and then this would be a tuck spot as well. And then when you turn the page, you find the other side of it, and again, gluing at the bottom and the top, and you have a nice tuck spot. They're very pretty and easy to make ahead of time. It's one to fit this page, but you can do it so that you leave a little bit of room at the bottom and the top if you're doing like a whole bunch of them, and then that would leave you room to trim it down if your journal pages were a bit smaller. I'll just show you this one quickly. This is an envelope that I have decorated up and stenciled on, and then I've added this beautiful little spray of one of her leaf trims and one of her little flowers, and then I put this pretty trim on the bottom with the tulle with the pearls, and then another little spray of the leaves on top of that. And again, if it's for your journal pages, this little bit would hang out the bottom of your journal, and this you would see, and then when it would flip open and you'd see the back side. And these little pearls are attached into the fabric of the tulle, and so on the back would be a little dot of metal, and it's okay. I mean, you can leave it like that, but I just added these tiny little pink flat back rhinestones on top of there, so you don't see the back of the pearl. But I love using these dangle leaf trims as little sprays across things as well. I think they look so pretty. Just taking the trims and using them for so much more than just a dangle trim or a floral trim, cutting it all apart and making things with it. This is like a paper clip. It goes over the page. It has 2 sides to it. And this is that beautiful gimp trim again. This one's done in the pink and white. The other was lilac and white. Again, the pretty tulle trim, the floral trim, and I've just added some little acrylic flowers to the center. And this one is done with a bobby pin, and I'm just going to grab my pages here so I can just show you. You don't see the bobby pin. The bobby pin is all hidden underneath, but this slides over top of a page, except I have to go this way because I put the ruffle on, and I want the ruffle to be on the outside edge. You don't want that inside your journal. And it makes the prettiest little embellishment on your page, long, like a long paper clip. But there's room here that you could clip. Oh, where's a little piece of something that I could clip in there? You could clip underneath there because it's got this long bobby pin in there that holds that onto the page. And then when you flip the page, there's the other side of it on this side. And isn't it pretty? Like, I just think they turned out so pretty. And again, you can make these up ahead of time and make them in different lengths so that you have them ready to go into your journals. I'm just going to show you how to put that together because it's super easy. So it's just a bobby pin. And so it's 2 1/4 inches long. And of course it has the long flat side, and then it has this side with the ribs on it, but it has this little piece that sticks up. And you don't want that to stick up because that's going to poke a hole in your page. So you just need to take a pliers of whatever. These are just a little jewelry pliers that I have. And you just want to straighten that out. So when it's onto the page, it's flat. You don't feel anything from that bobby pin. So that's the one little tip that I have. And then you just need to grab, what I've done is finished one side of this so I can show you. So you grab 2 pieces of, this is just a digital download of some lace tea stained paper, and it's on a heavier weight of copy paper. So it's not super heavy, but it's not as light as regular weight copy paper, and that's what I use for all my copying. I have 2 pieces, and the paper clip slot, or the bobby pin slides over the top of those 2. This side already, and so what I did was right underneath here is the bobby pin, and I just put a matching piece of paper over top of that bobby pin. Then I added the lace. I added some of this jute string, and actually it's just, what I do is I have burlap and I just pull off some of the strings, and I used that and made a swirl at the top. These are little bees, and these are actually a napkin that I have glued with, I used just a glue stick, and I glue them onto the music paper or book paper, and then I fussy cut them out and I use them on my projects. This is a piece of a doily from Kim's shop. Some of the trim that had these little bits that look like leaves, I used those. And this one here as well that looked like a bit of a leaf. I added acrylic pieces on here. And this is one of the flowers from one of her flower trims. And a little bit more of the burlap string. And this would slide over top your page. What you will see on this side. You don't see the other side until you turn the page. So on the other side, how we would finish it is we would turn this over, we would put this in place, and the bobby pin is on the top, and you can put a little bit of glue on either side of that. And I do use hot glue because that's what I like to use. And then I took another piece of paper that matched this paper, and I'm just going to slide that over the top, and that's going to hide that bobby pin. And then I grabbed a little piece of trim here, and again, this was part of a doily that was in Kim's shop, and she sometimes has like single doilies that she sells. I do cut up a lot of things, but you get a doily and it has this nice trim on it, and then it has a centerpiece that can actually be used as a smaller doily on a project, so you get so much out of it by cutting it up. I really encourage anyone to not be afraid to cut things up, because you will be so pleased with how much you can get out of a big doily if you cut it up. And then I thought, well, how about a little piece of lace down this side? So this is actually from my stash, but Kim has had similar of these little laces in her shop. So you can pick these up because they're really nice for doing little edges like that. And then I found this beautiful owl. I am going to put that on here as well. And even though he's paper, I'm still using my hot glue because it's fast. And you don't need to put a ton of glue on him because it's just like anything else in your journal. I mean, it's all made of paper, so you can't be too rough with it, or you know, things will tear whether they're glued down with a ton of glue or not. Just think he's lifted a little bit here, and so after I put some on, then I can look at it and decide where he might benefit from having a little extra glue. And I just thought I would add this little bit of bling on it. And although this bling has adhesive on the back, I never really trust it, so I like to use my art glitter glue for that. And I'm just going to put this right here, and I have my art glitter glue with the fine tip nozzle on the end so that it comes out small amounts. And then I have the pin, and I made the little dangle to go on it so that I don't lose the pin on my desk, because the one thing about art glitter glue is you have to put the pin in right away. You can't sort of leave it because it just plugs up. So there is that side finished, and you cannot see the bobby pin on either side. And again, if I didn't glue it together, which, you know, it can happen, this slides over your page, and you have this beautiful owl on this side of your page. And then you flip it over and you have this on the other side. And so you can tuck things underneath here and they stay in place really well. Or they could take it off and use it as a bookmark in the book they're reading, if they're reading a paper book. But I just think they turn out so cute, and they're all made with just scrap pieces of paper or digital download. And your main thing is a bobby pin, which you can get a card of them at the dollar store, or most places that sell that kind of thing. They're not expensive. These are all smaller versions of exactly the same thing. They are made with cardstock and cardboard and cardstock or fabric. And then there's again one of her beautiful cabochons that Kim has in the shop. This is one that has the lady on it. Again, I don't know what she has currently in the shop because things sell so quickly. I could say it's in the shop, and when you see this video, it might not be. So you just have to go and look. And you can always message her if there's something that you saw that you're really interested in, and she can tell you whether or not it's coming in or whether she can get it again. And I love gluing these on again so that I can tuck something in. So then I just made this little tiny journaling card, and I put she on it, and I actually put some glossy accents on that. And then on this side is a little banner, another digital download, and I just added a little flower with a bling and a little bit of embroidery floss. And again, these are all made to go over the page. So they would all just slide over the top of the page in your journal, but they'd also have the ability of being a tuck spot as well. Here's a close-up of some of the hidden paperclip embellishments that I did create, and you'll see one side and then I flip them over so you can see the other side. The hidden paperclip embellishments are a common one done on YouTube, so there are lots of tutorials on that one. So I didn't do a tutorial. If for any reason you'd like to see me do a tutorial on how I did the paperclip ones, although it's very similar to the bobby pin one, you can just let me know in the comments below and I can do a tutorial at another time. So there was one more that I wanted to show you, and that is done with one of these clips. Again, they do have the curve on them, but these ones are really easy to straighten just with your hands. They're quite a soft metal, and you just want to straighten it out so you don't have a curve on it. And then what happens when you build these up is you end up with this lovely clip with the, again, totally embellished on either side. You can't even see the clip, except if you even the top, I just finished it off with a little bit of lace in there. If you look at the sides, you can see a little bit of it, but really not much. And again, these can clip on the side of a page, so then the dangle would dangle to the side like that outside your journal, or they can clip on the top of the page, and then this dangle would dangle down the side this way, because it works as a tab, and then also has all these bits hanging off, and I just love it. But I really liked how they turned out, so I thought I'd just show you just exactly what I did. Built the one side of it already again, and I just took a piece of cardstock, and you just make it the length of the clip plus a little enough to fold over the top, because it helps to finish the tops off nicely if you do that. I just used glue and I glued that on, and then I embellished it. This side, I've got everything ready here. So here's the piece of paper, and again, it's the length of your clip plus enough to go over the top so that you can cover most of the clip at the top. Gluing paper onto metal, I just find that hot glue works really good. So again, just pressing that in there. And then you have this surface that you need to, first of all, glue down. You want to glue this down, paper down to your clip. Then just open your clip to make sure you didn't glue, your papers together or anything. And that's nice and dry. Then I used a piece of the same dangle trim that I used on the other side, I used on this side. And this time I added in another one of Kim's beautiful cabochons, and this one has a little fairy. And I did the word believe and put some glossy accents on it. And then for the top of this one, I used the little bow that was in her shop. I added in some embroidery thread for interest and color, and then I took the pearl that was in the center and I replaced it with a little clay flower, and then that just will get glued onto the top of here, keeping in mind, like I said, that you can see from both sides, so you just can turn it and kind of adjust it, but that's what you would see, the edges of the bow a little bit from that side, which I think it looks fine. And so then again, that one is all done, and this one I think lends itself, with the word being there, that it would go on the top of the page. So you would see a little bit of the other blue butterfly a little bit behind it, but that would be on the top of your page. Also of course is a tuck spot because of the clip that's there, and it's a nice strong clip. Then when you turn the page, this is your lovely clip on this side, and you can have it anywhere on the page you want, and it can be removed too by the person if they wanted to remove it. It does add a little bit of bulk to your journal for sure. I don't mind chunky journals anyway. I just think they're just full of all kinds of goodness, and this is the kind of thing that can be removed out of a journal. If someone found it too bulky, they could take it out and use it elsewhere because it's so pretty, it could be used somewhere else. And then just some paper ones left to show you. Just that one done with, made a heart out of some wire and covered it. This one I will clip to the top of a page. I added one of her little bows to the top of the clip there, and a little bit of embroidery floss, and these are all trims from her shop. There's a lace from her shop, this white trim, the pink trim, and then there's that little trim that's looks like a butterfly or a bow, all from her shop. This one, I took one of the doilies from her doily pack. I cut the center of it out, and then I just stretched this a bit and put it around so it looks like a frame. And then this was the very center of the doily. There was another piece as well, but this was the very center, and I used it down here in the corner. And then this tag, and I've done some of her beautiful floral trim along the bottom, added some bling to the center. And with this tag, I like making these because they can be like, they go along the bottom of the page, and like this. This lace and stuff hangs out the bottom. The edge of the tag hangs off the side here, and you can put a little charm on it, and she has charms in her shop. This was one she did have in her shop at one point. And then you can glue it onto the page, and so this is a tuck spot. And I also put an extra little tuck spot here as well, because I just think they're fun. But it's a really cute idea, and it allows you to use the pretty little charms and add them, and then this would stick out the side of the journal. So really pretty. That's some of the things that I've been busy with this past month doing, and just having lots of fun with them, and allowing me to use up scraps and things that I had in my stash, and some of the beautiful bits that I still had from design team packages. And certainly if you purchase, you know, a yard of any of these trims, they can go such a long way towards you being able to make some of these goodies for yourself. I will leave a link to the store, to the Facebook group, and to the Instagram account, and also all the designers' links, so you can go over and have a look. And I hope you all have a great week. Talk to you all soon.